Hell Nation. Certainly a lot to talk about today, including the U.S. releasing this 14-point memorandum, which in my estimation is America losing, and Donald Trump rewarding a bunch of terrorists and an evil regime for his mistakes. That's really, I mean, I have the layout for you. I'm going to spell it out for you here, ladies and gentlemen. It's insane. It really is ridiculous. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I am stunned that any MAGA Republican would even be on board with something like this. We basically dropped $300 billion in bombs, or I'm sorry, $200 billion in bombs. And now we're persuading Iran to accept $300 billion in exchange for undoing Donald Trump's mistakes. I mean, that's really what this comes down to. We're not getting anything out of this. It's insane. And they were arguing and bitching and complaining for years about the $1.7 billion with Obama, which, by the way, was a lie if you actually look into freezing assets and what took place there. But $1.7 billion, they were losing it. $300 billion. How could you all not be upset? And, you know, I wanted to introduce this guy on the show right now. And I certainly want to talk a little New York Knicks basketball with him and the joyous Knickerbocker fans like, of course, the man that I am introducing to you right now, also known as Brooklyn Dad Defiant. He has a great podcast, and I'm so lucky to call him a friend. And we'll talk about some Knicks, but boy, we have a lot of breaking news that I want to talk to you, Brooklyn Dad, about. First of all, thank you so much for being here as always. Always appreciate it, Brooklyn Dad, when you take the time to come on, my friend. How are you?
Dude, it's my pleasure. You know, I'm a big fan of yours, buddy. I love the fire in your belly.
Well, you know what? The feeling is mutual, Brooklyn Dad, because I think you're one of the best around, and I appreciate you coming on. You know, we'll get to the New York Knicks. Obviously, I want to talk to you about that. But I look at this deal that was just, made public within the last hour or so, and I'm blown away and mesmerized. You know, you look at all the bombs that we dropped and the $200 billion plus that we've spent, and now we're rewarding Iran with apparently $300 billion, and right where we left off before this war started. Like, Brooklyn Dad, what's your reaction to this? I'm just mesmerized by this.
You know, Brian, as much as I hate to disagree with you, you know, I have to take issue with something that you just said, because you said that we weren't getting anything out of this deal. And I want to, make exception that we actually are getting the Strait of Hormuz, open, which, of course, was open before Donald Trump launched his illegal war of choice. But hey, that's not nothing.
That's a good point. Yeah, we blockaded the blockade, Brooklyn Dad, and now the Strait of Hormuz is opening up again. By the way, there's still going to be tolls. They're holding stronger cards now than they held before this war started. And
it's not only that. Like, Donald Trump has basically backed off of all the demands that he was making. Like, was talking big crap. He was saying that unconditional surrender. So that's off the table, because there's plenty of conditions that come with our surrender to Iran. Okay. Secondly, the enriched uranium.
Yeah,
he's like, well, who cares about it? It's underground, and
he said that today. He doesn't care about the uranium. I thought that was one of the main reasons why we went to war in the first place. He said that today.
Insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
And remember when they were complaining, and they have for years, about the $1.7 billion that was sent to Iran under Obama. By the way, that was a settlement returning Iran's frozen pre-1979 arms funds plus interest. That was not taxpayer money.
Mm-hmm. And Brian, he said with his own mouth today that we're not giving them money. We're only unfreezing money that was theirs. I wonder why that sounds so damn familiar. Can you tell me, Brian, why does that sound so familiar?
Yeah, it does sound very familiar, doesn't it? And it's amazing how J.D. Vance and any member of Donald Trump's administration can defend this. And, I'm hearing, well, this isn't $300 billion of American money. Do you feel like they could be funneling money to other countries to pay off Iran? Do you feel like that's a possibility? Because this seems very fishy to me.
So I believe, first of all, and I can't prove anything that I believe, but I'm just going to say I believe that every dollar that that Iran gets, Trump is getting like a quarter of it, or some he's getting his vig out of it. Also, while we might not be exchanging physically, literally exchanging money, he, by being the facilitator of this deal, is facilitating the transfer of funds, whether it's from us or UAE or anyone else. We, the United States, not any other country, are primarily responsible for giving funds, major funds, $300 billion. MAGA was so upset about the $1.7 billion that was already Iran's. Let's talk about this $300 billion after we've wasted billions of dollars dropping bombs on them that basically did nothing but just force us to concede to them. And great waste of money.
I completely agree. And basically, this is the verbiage that is in the 14-point memorandum that was just released an hour ago. And what it says is it fundamentally basically reshapes U.S. policy toward Iran, including sanctions relief, the release of frozen assets, this $300 billion reconstruction commitment, and it changes to U.S. military deployments and a framework for broader negotiations. And it seems to me that Iran really isn't changing much of their position or anything before this war started. It's almost like we're in the same position. It sickens me. It really does. It sickens me.
This deal is dumb with a B.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brooklyn Dad. And it's just, I think about the soldiers that we've lost. I think about how this has just destroyed our economy. And you hear Donald Trump saying, gas prices are going down. Everything's going to be fine. Some economists are saying it could take years to get back to where we were before this war started. And I say, for what? They still haven't taken responsibility for the 175 school children they murdered.
Oh, my God. Did you hear what he said during the thing?
I did.
So I was aghast that he had the audacity. This just happened like 4 months ago. He said that happened a long time ago. And then no less than 2 minutes later, he started talking about the Afghanistan withdrawal, which happened over 4 years ago. Yep. So 4 years ago, not long ago, but 4 months ago, too long ago to talk about it. What?
Insane. Absolutely insane. And of course, he still even took the opportunity today to talk about the 2020 election that he claims is rigged or was rigged. Help me understand this, because I was quickly going through the literature here in this 14-point memorandum plan, and I was really struggling to find anything of significance, any type of sanctions or anything that Iran is doing differently after they receive this money and after they get everything they want, that is changing from where we were 4 months ago. Brooklyn Dad, can you help me understand this? I really didn't see anything that said, wow, thank God Iran is doing that. Like, I can't find it. I can't find anything.
No, there are no major concessions. He's not even curtailing their ballistic missiles program, as far as I know. If you have updated information on your memo over there, let me know. But I haven't seen it. And basically, his answer to what happens if Iran doesn't, like, there's a question: is there any safeguard in this deal to prevent Iran from charging fees for the Strait of Hormuz after the 60 days? And he says the thing that's going to stop them, because you can't cover everything in a document, is common sense. What? Wait, you mean to tell me you cannot cover that in a document? I mean, that's money. That's fees. Fees are covered in documents. That's the whole purpose of documents.
Yep.
What the hell is he even saying?
this entire war, and it pains me to say this because you love America just as much as I do, and it doesn't bring me any joy to say this. Let's be very clear. This is an American surrender. Iran has won. If, in fact, this is signed off officially on Friday, which I believe it probably will, because the Trump administration is doing everything in their power to just say, we want this over with, and it really doesn't matter what we give them. That's really what's going on here. It's a win for Iran. It's a loss for the United States of America. And it doesn't bring me any joy to say that, because that's the last thing we wanted to happen. But I knew, and most of us knew, when this war started, it was a tremendous mistake, and we should have never gotten into war with Iran in the first place.
Yeah, the problem is the commander in chief is a moron. The head of the Pentagon, the Department of Defense. I will never call it the Department of War because that's stupid. But the defense secretary is also a moron. He's just a cheerleader. You didn't have people in the positions of importance with skill, with experience, with with common sense, with the know-how to how to prosecute a war like this. They didn't even engage Congress. They didn't get different angles and different perspectives on the fallout. They didn't even anticipate the closing of the Strait of Hormuz. This thing was a complete debacle. And everybody associated with it should be embarrassed. There absolutely needs to be a full and complete investigation of why this was allowed to go on, why we allowed Netanyahu to drag us into this thing. Where were the safeguards in preventing that? There's enough grown-ups in Washington, D.C. to say, hey, pump the brakes on this. This is a major undertaking. This is hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
So yeah, this whole thing was a waste of time and money and lives lost, and it's an embarrassment. Yeah, Iran absolutely did, as you say, defeat us, and it's not a great moment for the United States of America.
Yeah.
Anybody who stands toe to toe with America and lives to talk about it, and not only lives to talk about it, but gets America to make some concessions on a deal and sign it, they absolutely won. They beat us.
It really bothers me to hear that, but you're right. And I completely agree with you. While this is all going on, J.D. Vance making the rounds trying to sell his stupid book and admitting on national television yesterday that there are diplomatic protocols that he does not fully understand. Those are his words, not mine. You're the damn vice president of the United States, and you're embarrassing yourself. Oh, with that being said, Brooklyn Ted, I wanted to talk to you about something joyous, right? That is the New York Knicks. I was really happy for New York. I was happy for your team. I think you have, I know, a lot of really good quality, smart, and caring individuals. Brunson, of course, being one of them. I just think there are a lot of good people on this team, and Coach Brown is a great coach and just good people. And it was nice to see New York get the W. San Antonio, I would say the same. Wonderful people on a part of that franchise as well. Great people. But I will say this, the only game, you know what I'm about to say, the only game that New York lost was a game that Donald Trump in the arena. I have to throw that in there because it's true, right?
It was another perfect example of like a guy who makes the worst possible decisions despite all evidence, to the contrary. Like, what made you think you could go to the heart of New York City in a critical Game 3 and that you would be accepted as a hero? Dude, they boo you when you go to your own Trump Tower. He is persona non grata in the city of New York. And unfortunately, there's nobody with the cojones around him in his orbit to tell him otherwise. So yeah, the emperor went there with no clothes. He got booed, then he fell asleep, and then he put his bad mojo on the team for that one unfortunate game. But it all worked out because, oh my God, Brian, did you see that next game, Game 4? We were down by 29 points.
No
I
way you
mean,
come back. No way you guys come back if Donald Trump is in the building. Okay, let's be clear on that. I think if
oh
you
yeah,
give San Antonio Spurs maybe a little bit more experience under their belt, maybe on paper they're the better team, but they weren't this year because of experience. Because of experience, and quite frankly, when you look at Brunson's performance, I believe I would call it Jordan-esque, Kobe-esque. He took over these games, scoring in the 40s on the road in a closeout game. Brunson, to me, is going to be a Hall of Famer and maybe one of the better point guards of all time, just based on that performance that I saw throughout the playoffs. The man is a magician with the basketball. He's an unbelievable scorer. Nobody can guard him one-on-one. He's just very special and a great guy too.
Well, that's the main point right there. I mean, you see people with skills and talent and all that, and make great shots. They come and go all the time, but those quality people, and that's who he is. That is who he is. That's how his father raised him. He came up like that.
Carl Anthony,
And so,
I would also say that about Carl Anthony Towns when he talks about the loss of his mother. It's emotional. They're just such articulate, intelligent, and caring people. So I couldn't be happier for New York. I couldn't be happy. I grew up a Celtics fan, right? But I couldn't be happier for New York.
Oh my goodness.
I did. I'm really happy
Dude,
for New York.
I know what that means to you as a Celtics fan to praise the Knicks. That's big. That's mighty big of you.
I've always trashed James Dolan because I think he's a scumbag. I'm sorry, Brooklyn.
We're the same. We're the same. I could never stand James Dolan.
I'm happy for you, my friend. I'm happy for you.
God forbid he convinces that team to visit Spanky McDumbass in the White House. I will have a serious problem with that.
I've heard rumors that they're going to be visiting the Pope instead of Donald Trump. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, we'll see.
Please.
I don't think they're going to be visiting the White House. That would actually surprise me. Brooklyn Dad, you're one of the best. I'm happy for your New York Knicks. Can you give out that information? Not that you need it because you have such a huge following, and I love your podcast, but give out that information so people can follow you if they aren't already, because you do a hell of a job with your podcast, and I love your tweets. I follow them every day.
Oh, thank you, brother. So I'm on Twitter. Obviously, you can find me at MM Padellan, Paddellan. You can also find me on YouTube at either Brooklyn Dad Defiant or just type in the Defiant Weekly. That's my weekly show. It's a live show, just like Brian's. Well, it's not just like Brian's, but it's live. Nobody's just like Brian. And on Substack, it's Defiant Dispatches. Look for me there once every week or so.
Brooklyn Dad, I love you, pal. I'll let you know when I'm out there in New York. I was just actually in DC for that UFC fiasco and got some pretty good audio out there. I had Jordan Klepper from The Daily Show interviewing me. I met the Good Liars.
Nice.
I've always wanted to meet the Good Liars. Did Tim Pool's show 6 hours.
I saw that. Yeah.
Mental gymnastics for 6 hours. What else did I do out there? I did in studio OAN. That was Chanel Ryan. Yeah, Chanel Ryan. I did very nice. No. Very beautiful, very nice lady. Just very wrong on Donald Trump and this administration, which I told her. But it was a lot of fun. Brooklyn Dad, I can't wait till we meet one of these days. I can't wait to meet you in person. And I always appreciate it when you take the time to do the show. Listeners love you, my friend, and we will catch up with you soon. Go party with your New York Knicks fans, my friend, and we will talk soon, okay?
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooklyn Dad. There you go, everybody. That's Brooklyn Dad Defiant. I just meet so many wonderful people and some bad people. I just meet some wonderful people because of what I do for a living. And trust me when I say I will never take that for granted, the relationships and people that I've met from doing this show. Speaking of good people, Leonard Cardinale is going to be joining us next. We are going to take a quick break. I know Leonard has some very strong opinions on this 14-point plan with Iran. We're going to get to that when we come back. We have a lot of audio to play for you. And yes, your phone calls. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. Pushing the limits on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Liberal popular podcaster Tony Michaels. He hasn't done this show in a while. He's going to be joining us on the show tomorrow. I am in contact with Hunter Biden, and we're still trying to nail a date. Probably going to be in the next 2 weeks, I was told. So we're going to get that going. Of course, joining me in studio right now is the former lieutenant, law enforcement police officer extraordinaire, Leonard Cardinale, who did a great job filling in for me. I believe it was Friday. Yes, it was Friday. My days are all mixed up. How you doing, Leonard? Good to see you.
Oh, I'm doing good. What a crazy morning, huh? Just
It's every day.
Did you hear Trump breathing though in between sentences? Did you? Was I the only one who saw that?
His body was making.
It was like
very
blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to catch his breath.
You know, sometimes, and I feel bad for some people that struggle with weight loss, right? But with Trump, you can tell like there's we're giving.
It sounded like he wasn't getting enough oxygen or something.
We're giving Iran everything they need because I effed up. But anyway, let me just give some of the quick bullet points of this agreement, which, by the way, has now gone public. These are not opinions, okay? But
they can look it up online. If
if they don't believe me, that's fine. They can do that. But the numbers don't lie. We dropped about $200 billion in bombs. And now we're trying to persuade Iran. I say persuade because nothing's been signed or official yet, to accept $300 billion in exchange for undoing this disastrous war that Trump did.
Well, can I just, on that point, it's $300 billion in reparations for destroying their country, but the actual money that they're going to get back is between 124 and 167 billion.
Right.
In addition to the 300.
In addition to the
right,
300 billion, that's very important.
That's just the sanction relief, right?
I was jotting down notes when I was reading this 14-point plan, right? And basically, Trump started a war to force Iran into nuclear destruction, right? At least that's what was said, right? They failed. This memorandum ends the war by giving Iran total economic relief. Let's not forget about oil sales, which we were talking a little about off the air.
No restrictions, if you don't mind if I comment as you go.
None.
So they can sell oil to anyone in the world, including China. And when they sell it to China, they can sell it in yuans, which means that the yuan becomes more powerful and challenges the American dollar.
Not to mention frozen assets.
Such a bad loss.
The frozen assets are very important. They have this reconstruction investment framework that is now public, and the core nuclear details are pushed into maybe or possibly someday. That's really what the language is here.
We got nothing, Brian.
We got nothing out of this.
Nothing.
And then Trump, when he talked about ballistic missiles, he's defending Iran in still having their ballistic missiles. It's insane. He's talked about the uranium. He doesn't care about the uranium anymore. And what about Rubio?
Just standing there.
Trump gutted U.S. aid. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that this is the agency that Rubio once proudly championed for. And Rubio didn't say anything. He's standing next to Trump today like the buffoon that he is.
Such a sellout.
Trump has always been and always will be on Vladimir Putin's side, whether it be against Ukraine. And Rubio has literally said nothing. And now Trump is surrendering to Iran. And make no mistake about it, you Trump mushroom gobblers, that's exactly what this is. Trump and America surrendering to Iran, and Marco Rubio remains silent, standing right next to him. Rubio is not a man, ladies and gentlemen. He's a coward. He's exactly
he's
what
sold
he
out.
is.
And, I want to say now, we will take calls later, and I'm sure we'll get to that, but I would challenge anyone, I really would challenge anyone to please call in and give us one thing we accomplished in that war. Just one.
Well, we'll definitely.
And don't say nukes because they weren't a thing. They weren't a real thing.
Yeah, we'll definitely take some phone calls on that. But I want you to listen to Donald Trump blasting Barack Obama for a moment. So in talking about Iran, as you know, we'll get to the $1.7 billion that MAGA Republicans continue to complain about. I don't want to hear any of them complain about anything. Now, apparently, we are brokering a deal where they're going to be receiving, really, when you talk about the damage, close to $500 billion when you add it all up together. But listen to the orange orangutan today, again, making it about Barack Obama. Listen to this.
I want to mention Iran. We appreciate the relationship we've had over the short period of time with Iran. The primary thing, we can talk about the Iran deal all day long. We're not investing any money. We have the right to if we want, but we're not investing any money. We didn't pay for it like Obama did. He paid billions of dollars. He paid $1.7 billion from an airplane, all green cash. It was crazy. I watched that. I couldn't believe it. But the one thing that's happening that's of note, frankly, the only thing that really matters to me, is Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. I want to mention Iran.
So
Yeah, once again, not a real thing.
So that is not a guarantee, number one. And number two,
We never had one.
the $1.7 billion that was sent to Iran under Barack Obama, again, was a settlement returning Iran's frozen pre-1979
Yes.
arms funds plus interest, not U.S. taxpayer money paid as claimed. Donald Trump is lying. I know that might shock some of you. He is not telling the truth. There's
Can
yeah.
I say something on
Yeah.
that real quick? Because Obama, in exchange, was allowed to have the International Atomic Agency go into Iran anytime they wanted, once a week, surprise inspections, and they were allowed to see every facility and look at exactly what they were doing. And by the way, fact, look it up if you want to, the uranium was only enriched at about 3 to 3.5% during Obama.
I'm glad you
Today,
brought that up.
Trump said
Yeah, well, that's the next cut that
that
I
it was
wanna play.
it was enriched because
So-
he canceled the deal.
So the whole reason, or one of the main reasons why we went to war, Donald Trump claimed, was to get the uranium, get the enriched uranium. Now I want
Which
you
you obliterated.
to what you are speaking of. I want you to listen to what Donald Trump now is saying about this enriched material uranium. Listen to this.
So the Atomic Energy just reported that it was one of the most devastating bombings that they've ever seen. The whole mountain collapsed on top of it. And frankly, to go get it, we're going to go get it. But to go get it is a big deal because they say only China and us have the equipment where you can even get. The whole mountain is collapsed on top. We have cameras on it. You could make the case why you even bothering because it's not really valuable. It's it's probably $500,000 worth. It's not very valuable stuff, but I think psychologically we want to get it.
So again, I just want to read for you what Donald Trump just said. Quote, "You could make the case, why even bother? It's not very valuable stuff. For months, we've been listening over and over and over again. And this being one of the main reasons why we went to war."
So here's the political rumor. The political rumor is that Donald Trump will say that the dust was destroyed and they allowed Iran sign an agreement saying that they destroyed the nuclear dust and it'll never be destroyed and they won't have to prove it to America because there's no way to prove it. So if he just says, oh yeah, Iran said they're going to, well, I trust them. They're going to destroy it. And by the way, it was obliterated a couple of months before that.
Also, this agreement is also not even final, assuming if what I'm reading is true, Iran has won this war and we are surrendering. But here's Donald Trump saying, here's Donald Trump saying it's not even signed off on. But if it's not, he's going to start bombing again. Watch this.
Is the text of the agreement now final, or are you still?
No, it's not final. It's a memorandum of understanding. And if I don't like it, we'll go back to shooting at them, dropping bombs on their head.
When do you expect the wording?
If I don't like it, if they don't behave, we'll go right back to dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head. Okay? Because they've misbehaved for 47 years. All right? But nobody could have made this deal. I mean, the JCPOA done by Obama, he handed him $1.7 billion in cash, gave him hundreds of millions of dollars, gave him billions and billions of dollars, but he gave him $1.7 billion in cash, green cash from banks, into a Boeing 757 and flew it into Iran. And they stood at the plane. I have pictures of it like, oh my, look at this money he's giving us. He tried to bribe his way out. I didn't do that. Nobody mentions that. 1.7 billion and hundreds of millions of dollars. They tried to bribe their way out of it. And you know what the Iranians did? They laughed at Obama and they said he's a stupid son of a bitch. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
That's
Yeah,
not true.
thank you very much. So everything that Donald Trump just said there is a lie. The world is laughing at us right now. And again, I go back to what I said earlier. That was a frozen pre-1979 arms fund plus interest, and it had nothing to do with U.S. taxpayer money. Donald Trump is lying, and now we're talking about $300 billion.
Can I talk about the extra billions he's talking about? Because that is a fact. But if you look it up on the internet, anyone who's watching can look it up. The majority of the money that was released beyond the 1.7 billion was mostly in euros and mostly in yuan. It was not American money, and it was money that was released, and it was sanctions were taken from the bank. So it wasn't even American money. He's lying.
It's hard for me to even say this, but I actually think our vice president might even be a bigger idiot than Donald Trump. And I'm going to give you examples as to why I would say that. So J.D. Vance made the rounds yesterday because he's trying to sell his book. So J.D. Vance did an interview with CBS, and he's asked about this $300 billion reconstruction fund. And listen to this exchange.
Walk through some of this. The Iranians are saying that they're going to have access to a $300 billion reconstruction fund. True or false?
Well, Ed, that's the sort of thing they could have access to, funded by the Gulf Coast Coalition, so long as they honor their end of the obligation. I think that one of the things you're going to see, Ed, and people have to be skeptical of this, is that the hardliners in the Iranian system will overemphasize the benefits that Iran gets while underemphasizing all the things that they have to concede and all the things they have to provide in order to get these benefits. So we absolutely are open to the Gulf Coast countries investing in the reconstruction of Iran, but only if Iran ends their nuclear program, ends their enriched stockpile of material, and is really open to an inspections and enforcement regime that gives the American people confidence they're never going to have a nuclear weapon. So I think the dance you're going to see, Ed, which is going to be interesting, is the Iranian media, especially the hardline media, they're going to talk a lot about what they get without talking about what they give. It's important for all of us to correct that record.
Oh, really? Well,
What are they giving?
Oh, really? Well, Mr. Vice President, what are they giving? And I would also add to that, you guys are the ones that are facilitating the $300 billion. I don't know if you're funneling money to other countries or not. Here's what we do know. You are the ones who are facilitating this, period. And the fact that he's not denying it because it's now public. So this was audio in an interview that came out a little bit earlier before they made it public, but it just goes to show you, Leonard, how stupid J.D. Vance is. As the vice president of the United States, he certainly doesn't understand the most basic diplomatic protocols, and he admitted that on national television. Watch this.
Potential deal with Tehran. The president says he wants to put this war in the rearview mirror, and yet this framework remains silent. Why not allow the world to see whatever this deal is that you signed?
Yeah, so there are some, frankly, diplomatic protocols that I don't fully understand. The Qataris and the Pakistanis who have been helpful in mediating this agreement with the Iranians, they've asked us not to release the full text for a little while. That it'll come out at the latest on Friday. We're actually trying to push them to get it out today because we want to tell the American people what's in this deal. It's fundamentally a good deal for the American people, but it's also very simple, and I've also seen some misrepresentations about it. So in short, what it does is it opens the Strait of Hormuz immediately. This is why you see oil prices down in the 70s from a high in the 120s, is because you're seeing the strait already open its traffic to the flow of oil and gas. It also provides a framework whereby if the Iranians give us what we need on stopping the funding of terrorism, on no longer pursuing a nuclear weapon, then they can get some benefits, be reinvited into the world economy. And when I say benefits, I'm talking about sanctions relief on their economy.
All right, so a couple things here that I just want to respond to. First of all, the fact that he doesn't understand basic diplomatic protocols goes to show you the imbecile he is. So let me get this right. 4 months ago, the Strait of Hormuz was open. Let's just make sure they get $300 billion. Let's just make sure that, U.S. policy towards Iran changes completely. They get sanction relief, the release of frozen assets so that we can get what we had 4 months ago before this war
Don't forget
started.
regime change.
Yeah, and then he mentions pursuing of a nuclear weapon when Tulsi Gabbard testified under oath 10 months ago that they were not pursuing a nuclear weapon. But Donald Trump, on the same token, earlier today, just said that he doesn't care about the uranium. I mean, this is a disaster, a monumental disaster, okay? And even Mike Pence, okay, who apparently didn't have the courage to overturn the 2020 election. Even Mike Pence speaking with Caitlin Collins, and trust me, I think he's a stiff. I think Mike Pence is a fake Christian imbecile. But even Mike Pence on national television agrees that this is a really bad deal. Watch this.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good point in terms of, I mean, the administration keeps saying that it's performance-based, that sanctions relief, being able to sell oil, maybe getting their assets unfrozen. I mean, it seems like it's happening quickly. We'll have to see what the MOU says. But when you were in office with the president, your administration, the Trump-Pence administration, criticized the Obama-era nuclear deal for unfreezing $50 billion in Iranian assets. I mean, if what happens here, and they get 6 times that amount, plus potentially $100 billion, another, $100 billion and funds that are being unfrozen. I mean, do you think that's a defensible position for this Trump administration?
Well, it's whether it's a defensible position or not, it is the wrong position. I mean, to throw a lifeline to the Iranian regime when they are weaker and more isolated than they have ever been in history, I think would be a historic error. We have an opportunity right now to continue to pressure either just through the blockade or through additional use of force. We have the opportunity here to really end 5 decades of threats to the American people, to our cherished ally Israel, and to the region as a whole. Make no mistake about it. The pledge to renounce the pursuit of nuclear weapons, Iran has made that promise again and again and again. It was always built on lies. The only thing that would be acceptable here is the verifiable dismantling of their nuclear program, their ballistic program, renouncing terrorist support and organizations. There's an old adage that says, trust but verify. But if I was sitting next to the president, I would say, Mr. President, this deal should verify and then trust. We should demand that Iran, under the economic and military pressure we and Israel have placed on them, come to the table and verifiably abandon the course they've been on for 5 decades.
So Mike Pence is talking about verifying and trusting, and this is the same guy who was the vice president to Donald Trump. I do find that very interesting as well. He also talks about, verifying in general. Name me anything in this agreement. Name me anything in this agreement that would totally verify anything.
Or needs to be verified.
We're just taking their word on, we'll look into this. There's no promises. There's nothing. This is insane.
He was right about one thing. Iran has always agreed to stop their nuclear program. If you remember the negotiations before we attacked them on behalf of Israel, in my opinion, if you remember, they said, yeah, we'll take the uranium and we'll have a third-party country that we both agreed to. We could take the uranium and we will bring it there. We'll agree to that. We'll agree to no nukes. So there was literally no reason to attack them at the time. And don't get me started on Israel, because they're pissed. The Israeli people are saying that they've never been dictated to. No one's ever told them when to go to war, when to not go to war. And the Israeli people are really mad at Netanyahu right now because they made the attack on Lebanon part of the agreement. They can't attack Lebanon, and Trump is telling him what to do, saying, I run the show. I call the shots. And so I don't know what's going to happen with the Israeli people, but they are pissed.
Yeah, I just am blown away, and I'm mesmerized at the stupidity of this administration and the fact that there could be anybody on the right that can defend this agreement. And keep in mind, these are the same people who have been going after for years Barack Obama with this $1.7 billion, which again had nothing to do with taxpayer money, paid his claim. So I'm blown away. It's mesmerizing to me. Even I didn't think that Trump would go to this length to appease Iran because he wants the war to end and basically get nothing in return. And when I look at, as I mentioned, the hundreds of billions of dollars that we've spent on this war, and when I look at all the soldiers that have been injured, all the soldiers, one would be too many, coming home in caskets,
For what? What did we gain, Brian?
And that's what's so unfortunate about this whole thing.
For what?
Anytime we lose a soldier,
Brave men and women giving
it's-
their life for what?
well, anytime we lose a soldier, it's terrible. But basically, Iran is, for the most part, based on the language that I've seen, is going to be in the same position they were in 4 months ago. The only difference being is that we're changing our military capabilities and what we can or can't do out there. And
Iran's going to be billions
frozen.
and billions of dollars
Absolutely.
richer.
They're going to have
Much richer.
$500 billion we're talking about here.
At
When-
least.
when
At
you
least.
and probably more when you talk about the $300 billion, and then, as you mentioned, somewhere around $160 billion to rebuild. And then we have, we don't have the Ayatollah, big deal. We have a more reckless, I would say a more radical regime, a younger regime, a more capable regime. So we certainly didn't accomplish that either. As far as the uranium, we don't have any of it, and we have no evidence that they were furthering their nuclear capabilities. I mean, listen, when you put a bunch of incompetent people in these types of positions, this is what you get. Marco Rubio, while I would call him a competent person, he has no backbone and he's a yes man. He'll do anything and everything that really anybody in the administration wants him to do. Doesn't want to ruffle feathers because he wants to be the president of the United States one day. So this is the spot that we are in right now as a country. And it keeps getting worse and worse. And that's assuming that they will sign off on it on Friday. I actually hope they don't. I don't know why they wouldn't, but I would imagine they probably will sign off on this. So we are in the YouTube super chat, by the way, where your questions and comments will be read live on the air. Leonard will be reading those out as we go along the show. And I am absolutely and positively disgusted with where we're at right now as a country. Leonard, we have a YouTube super chat if you'd like to read.
We sure do. Chloe says, not a total loss. We get to keep our weapons that we haven't used yet. The Strait is open like it was before, and we get to keep the Lego videos. The art of the deal, baby. I sense a little sarcasm in there, a little satire. What do you think?
I think there's a little bit of satire in there as well. I think we got one.
Say it like it is.
Electric
Dad says a brain dead toddler could make this MOU. And
he's right. He's right. He's right. And
I believe 2 Iranian tankers, by the way, went through the blockade this morning. That did make the news. I don't know all the details, so sorry about that. But I mean, that means that they went through the blockade.
Listen, it saddens me to talk about this. I mean, there are people out there that will say, oh, you liberals, you want us to fail. No, I don't. I want the country to succeed. And where we're at right now, this is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment from an economic standpoint. It's an embarrassment from our military standpoint. It's an embarrassment from the president all the way down. This has destroyed our economy. We could be talking about anything. We could be talking about gas prices, inflation, you name it. And we got nothing out of this deal other than the American people continuing to suffer an embarrassment. This is a win for Iran. This is a loss for the United States of America.
Made us look terrible.
Agree. It really did. Agree to disagree. We'll open up the phone lines. Maybe if we have a little bit of time, a little bit later on in the show, we'll play a little bit of my man on the street stuff.
Let's do that.
Out there
That's
in
fun.
DC a little bit later on in the show. But I want to start off right now by taking some phone calls.
Let's see if all these people who think we're in the wrong or don't agree with our position or call us democratic socialists. You can call me a democratic socialist all you want, and I will defend it. I will debate anybody on that and tell a person and show them why it's a good idea.
So I'll open up the phone lines now. We have the phone number there on the bottom of the screen if you'd like to join in. All of you that are listening, of course, on the FM/AM dial. Also on the YouTube page, which is ever so growing. We put a video up there yesterday that's got 500,000 views. The Facebook fan page. I love all of you on Facebook that are listening right now. Hi to Facebook. Facebook's been great. And we're pushing 200,000 subs both on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
Of course, on X as well with all the righty lunatics up there and the Elon Musk groypers. We're on X as well and a bunch of other platforms. But the number to call 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, as it's on the bottom of your screen, 702-221-SAVE. My question to you, and obviously we're going to get some callers that agree with us as well, but as I lay this framework out, I ask you, the American people listening to this show right now, me and Leonard, this fundamentally reshapes in this 14-point plan U.S. policy toward Iran, which obviously benefits Iran, It includes sanctions relief, the release of frozen assets. We mentioned $300 billion in reconstruction commitment, and
crazy.
it changes U.S. military deployments in a framework. And this is the interest, just a framework for broader negotiations. They're not saying they're stopping anything, really. They're not opening the Strait of Hormuz, which was already open several months ago. This is insane. Okay, this is insane. So please tell me where the benefits are. Number again, 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE. We'll start off with Adam, who is calling out of New York. Hello, Adam. Adam, are you there?
Yeah. 1 second. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty here.
Is
Hello?
this the same Adam from the room?
Adam, I don't know.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
So I wanted to ask you about the Iran deal, you and Leonard.
Okay.
You're sitting here saying that the $300 billion is coming from who?
Have you not been listening to this conversation since
Well,
we started?
I know what I saw, and I know what I heard.
Well,
Okay, it's
hold
coming from
hold on. We can't have three people talking at the same time. So, Adam, have you not been listening to this show from the start?
What was that? I'm sorry, you cut off.
Have you been listening to this show from the start?
Yes, I have.
Okay, well, if you have, then you would know I explained where the money is coming from, and the United States is helping to facilitate it. So I don't like having...
Right.
Okay,
but
so
it's
what's
coming
your
from
question?
the other Arab nations.
Okay, and who's
We
facilitating?
don't know yet.
Okay, first of all, we don't know that for sure.
Right, you guys don't even know.
No, I read what's in the 14-point plan. Did you read it, sir?
You read what they so far released, but not the final draft. So you're just speculating.
No, I'm not
No, you're not.
speculating. Are you aware that the White House has already released it, or are you too stupid to understand that?
Why do you got to insult people,
Because
Brian?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
It was signed electronically.
Hold on. He asked a question. I will tell you why. Because you're an imbecile, because you don't have facts, and you say things that are not true. That's why I called you stupid. The reason why I called you stupid, and Leonard is correct, it is because they signed off electronically, and that actual document, the 14-point plan that they signed off, has been released by the White House.
Trump said it's agreed to.
It's not my fault that you don't know what you're talking about, but I can't continue over and over and over again to have to explain things to you guys. Okay. Now, I'm sorry if you don't like an insult. Then why did you vote for the insult?
Talking over me.
Okay. No, sir. I'm trying to explain it to you. Now, let's see if
You're
listen.
not letting me respond.
Did
That's
you
the
hear what I
problem,
just
Brian.
said?
You don't argue
Did
in
you
good
hear
faith.
what I just said? What do you disagree with what I just said? Am I wrong, sir?
Are you wrong? Yeah, you're absolutely
And
wrong.
what am I
It's
wrong
not
on?
even finalized.
And what am I wrong on? I never said it was finalized. Where am I wrong on?
If anything, it's like a rough draft.
Okay.
No, it's not a rough
It's
draft.
not-
It's a memorandum of understanding. No, it's not.
It's not a rough draft.
And it's
Leonard is
not
correct.
final.
They
Okay,
haven't-
this allows them on certain points to negotiate for 60 days. And then it'll be
I'm
finalized.
sorry, Leonard,
But
could you
did you
speak
know
up
that
just a little
Iranian
bit more? It's a little
tankers
hard
went
to hear
through the
you.
blockade? I would say they pretty much agreed to it. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Adam.
I think
I
Adam's
didn't
confused.
hear what he said. I only caught the last little part.
Why is it we have to
Okay,
repeat
so it's
these to
a
you
memo
over
of.
and over and
So
over
did
again?
you watch Donald Trump? He went on TV to the entire world and said that the agreement is signed and that it's done, and that things in the agreement are going to start working. If he's not happy with it, then he won't sign the agreement in person on Friday. That's what he
All
said.
right, I know what
The
you're talking about
agreement
because I just
has
saw
been
that on the
instituted,
show.
and
All right,
what
well,
we're
thank
saying
you. All
is
right, so
it's
so
a terrible agreement.
Leonard
That's what
is
we're
correct.
saying.
So, Adam, since you think I'm quote unquote wrong, I'm going to name you a few things, and you tell me where I'm wrong. This fundamentally reshapes U.S. policy towards Iran. It includes sanctions relief, the release of frozen assets, $300 billion reconstruction commitment that the U.S. is helping to facilitate. It changes U.S. military deployments in a framework for broader negotiations. Now, what did I say in that statement, which I've repeated 3 or 4 times in this show, where I'm wrong? Please tell me.
What was that? My phone cut out.
I bet it
I'll
did.
answer now.
I bet it did.
So it's on
I think he's
condition.
just tapping
Okay,
in.
they don't just get
And
300
what are the
billion and all that
conditions?
crap
What are
you
the
guys
conditions?
were talking about.
What are the
It's on
conditions?
condition.
What are the
They
conditions?
have to actually
What are the
honor their
conditions?
agreement over
What
time.
are the conditions? You don't
No
know,
new.
do you, Adam?
They
You
got to
don't know.
let the inspections happen. And I did hear that they do get to have an energy program for nuclear.
Do they get to have bombs? Do they get to have bombs? Do they get to have artillery?
No, not bombs.
Yes, they do.
An
No,
energy program.
you
like
have
power
no
and stuff.
idea. You have no idea what you're talking about. Donald Trump today in a press conference said they are allowing them to have that weaponry. So you're wrong. So you're saying that I'm wrong.
What weapon?
I explained it. Get this idiot off my show. This guy's so stupid.
Adam, I don't know if he
Oh
left
my
or not,
God.
but
yeah, I told him to leave. It's a waste of our time.
So Iran under Obama was allowed to enrich uranium to power their country. In fact, international law prevents anyone from stopping someone to power their country with nuclear technology as long as it's agreed upon. It depends on the country. But that's why they were developing the uranium to power their country.
So I'm going to read something to you, and this is verbatim, okay? This is verbatim from Donald Trump today for this idiot, this clown
of the United States.
Yeah, okay. What am I going to do? Let Saudi Arabia have missiles, but they can't have them?
What?
Missiles aren't the problem. He's saying that Iran can have missiles. That is a direct quote from Donald Trump earlier today. You buffoon, you. You didn't mention anything that we said that were wrong. The only thing that you said and all the things that you said was wrong. Have a nice day, Adam.
That's one of those guys that lives in a different reality. One of those MAGA mushroom gobblers that lives in a different reality. And he's like, oh, yeah, but, you know, it's not an agreement. Well, your president that you voted for, that you're sitting on the couch right now, probably eating corn chips, watching TV, yelling at the radio, and you're probably sitting there and you voted for this guy. He said it's an agreement. He said the U.S. agreed to it. Don't take our word for it.
Adam, here's what I suggest you do tonight before you go to sleep.
Gobble. I'm kidding.
I suggest you take off those Donald Trump knee pads, you throw them in the garbage, you wipe your mouth, stop the Trump mushroom gobbling, educate yourself, because you might be one of the few, maybe I'm wrong on this, that actually would think that this is actually a good deal for the United States of America. Because virtually no one, even people on the right in MAGA, are agreeing with us that this is not a good deal for the United States of America. And yes, the official signing of this document, even though it was electronically signed, the official document will be signed on Friday. And I can almost guarantee you it will be signed because it's extremely beneficial to Iran, not the United States
Can
of
I give
America.
Adam an official nickname?
Please.
NAFA. No actual facts, Adam.
Yeah.
We're going to call him NAFA from now on.
NAFA's a good one.
NAFA Adam.
I like that. NAFA mushroom gobbling, Adam. I like that one.
No
even better.
actual facts.
Yeah. None. Zero. But you're wrong. I don't know why you're wrong, but you're wrong. 702.
What about that agreement, Brian?
702-221-7283. 702-221-SAVE is the number to call. We're talking about this 14-point plan agreement, which is basically America surrendering and getting nothing in return. Let's go to Brian. Brian is from Texas. What's up, Brian? Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian, I can't really hear you.
Well, that's definitely a problem if you can't hear me. We'll have to talk to our
It's
technical
very
crew.
low. Hold on. I think it's. Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you a little bit. I hear you a little bit better.
All right. Sorry about
Page the technical
Sorry
guy.
about the
He's at home.
technical difficulties that we are experiencing here, but we'll try to work on that.
No, it could be from my end.
Yeah. What's on your mind today,
All
Brian?
right, I got two. Yeah, I got two questions.
Okay.
I'd like to get them out before you mute me. Is that okay?
Well,
Depends on
let's
what you say.
let's just do one at a time. So try to be concise, and I'll let you get to your second one, but you got to let us respond to the first one. Is that fair?
Okay.
Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's fair.
Go ahead.
That's fair. I take it that, like, I don't know the most about the Iran war and all that stuff, but what I'm asking is, what is your evidence, not an opinion, evidence, that Iran does not have nuclear weapons?
You're asking me what my evidence is. Sure, I'll answer
Tulsi
that. Tulsi Gabbard. She testified under oath 10 months ago that they were not furthering any nuclear capabilities, that nothing had changed. And then a month after that, Donald Trump and his administration bombed Iran. We were told that we obliterated their capabilities. Those were the words of Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. We obliterated them.
Not atomic bombs.
Right.
Just their uranium.
Right. Uranium. Now, 8 months later, we're told that we obliterated them again. And Donald Trump is now telling the American people in a press conference the uranium is not important. That's what he said.
What's his evidence that they do have them?
Yeah. So now that I've answered your question based on, facts of what Tulsi Gabbard said under oath, our own intelligence, Can you please give me any speck of evidence that they do have this? Can you have?
I was asking you because I wanted your opinion on that.
Okay, I just gave you not opinion, facts. Do you have any?
Okay, it's not a fact.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
What did
is.
Tulsi Gabbard say under oath, sir?
That's not a fact that they don't have them.
Okay, what did Tulsi Gabbard say under oath? Hold on.
Level.
I don't think, Brian, I don't think you're hearing me.
It is a little hard to hear. I'm being honest.
Well, I can understand it's hard for you to hear because these are facts. So let's try
American
this.
intelligence.
Can you repeat what Tulsi said?
No. I'm not going to.
Level.
Hold on. I'm not going to repeat what Tulsi said. I want you to repeat it. Do you have any idea what Tulsi Gabbard said under oath? Do you know?
About Iran having nuclear weapons.
No, about the sky being blue. What do you think we're talking about, dude? You're wasting my time. What did she say?
She said that they didn't have nuclear weapons.
Oh, yeah, a little bit more than that. Yeah, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
Level of intelligence,
yeah, the highest level of intelligence that we have, basically. She testified under oath 10 months ago. What changed in 10 months? And what is your evidence or the evidence that the Trump administration has provided?
I asked you first.
And I answered it. So now I'm asking you.
There were no nuclear weapons.
Brian?
No one's ever claimed they have. No one.
Brian, they have not. They have not provided any speck of evidence that they are furthering their nuclear capabilities or that they have nuclear capabilities. Tulsi Gabbard testified under oath, okay, echoing some of the stuff that I am saying right now, and then she was forced to resign. I've provided you state. Hold on a second, Brian. Yeah, the highest level of intelligence under oath. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Any higher.
So Brian,
Okay, so your evidence
Brian,
is Tulsi
Brian,
Gabbard. That's
Brian,
what you're saying.
Brian, can you give me any speck of evidence that I'm wrong, that they do have furthered their nuclear capabilities? Can you share that with us, please?
Go.
Because this will be breaking news from Brian. Go right ahead.
No, I can't.
You can't.
Oh,
Then have a nice day.
Brian.
Then have a nice day,
Brian,
you
you
clown.
don't understand.
Have a nice day.
I just know they have. I can't prove it, but I know they have them.
So Brian calls
They
into the
definitely
show.
have them.
Brian, what is your evidence that they have nuclear capabilities or they're furthering their nuclear? Brian, what's your evidence?
Well, you dotted his eye when you.
I'm asking
my
you, Brian.
evidence is that you have no evidence of the contrary, and just because the highest level of the American intelligence says it, that doesn't mean it's true.
Some people aren't going to like what I'm about to say, but Brian should not be allowed to vote. People that are that stupid should not be allowed to vote. I'm sorry.
You should have what should be the IQ level? Like
Give me
20, 30?
Name the 3 branches of government. You think you could have done that
before you go in? Was the Constitution
Brian,
a
what
real
is your
document?
Brian, what is your evidence?
Brian, I'm
that
going to
they
ask
haven't
you two
furthered
tough questions.
Brian, what is your evidence that they haven't furthered their nuclear capabilities?
Well,
we have
I'll tell you
we have
what.
Tulsi Gabbard. We have Tulsi Gabbard that's testified under oath. Then we were told we
The
obliterated.
president?
Yeah.
Israel.
It's just, I mean, these people are just some of the dumbest people that America has to offer. Brian, I hope you never vote again. You shouldn't be allowed to. By the way, if you're listening to us, the FMAM dial, or you're listening to 107.1, excuse me, KSHP, and 1400 AM, thank you for joining us. We're taking your phone calls. We'll accept a few more YouTube super chats if you got them. Who's been waiting on hold here? Who do we got next? Let's go to Tyler, who is calling out of, I believe, Washington, if that's correct. Tyler, what's going on? Tyler, go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Tyler.
So, yeah, I'd like to talk about that Iran war some more since it's on condition. They don't get anything, Brian, on condition. If they don't honor any of their end of the agreement, they get nothing.
What are the conditions?
No sanction relief.
Okay, let's
don't
make
know
his
yet.
call a little higher because I can't hear him.
That's going to be announced Friday.
So Tyler, what are the conditions? You don't know?
We don't know till Friday.
You don't know what the conditions are. So,
well, I mean, I would, if I had to take an educated guess, it would obviously be, let's not build nukes. Even if they didn't have them, let's not build them.
And
we
where's
have
the
to honor the Strait of Hormuz? No,
the Strait of
holes
Hormuz
on the ships or whatever.
The Strait of Hormuz was already open and everything was going just fine 4 months ago.
I know it's open, but they can't toll
Tyler,
anybody.
Were they tolling? Hold on 1 second. Were they tolling people 4 months ago?
They wanted to.
Were they tolling? Please answer my question. Were they tolling people 4 months ago?
No.
No.
They
Are they
want
tolling
to.
people
So
now?
I can't
Hold on,
ever
hold on,
accept an
hold on, hold on,
answer.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Calm down. Let's chill out here. So 4 months ago, they weren't
I gotta
tolling.
calm down.
Okay. So let's back up a little bit. You agree with me? They weren't
Okay,
tolling.
Spurg in chief.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? What'd you say,
I
sir?
said, okay, Spurg in chief.
Okay, Spurg in chief. Would you like to have a serious conversation, sir, or do you want
Yeah,
to?
I am. I was waiting to
Okay.
listen to what you
I'm
had
not,
to say.
sir. I'm not spurging. I'm trying to give you
Okay,
facts.
can
Hold on
I
one
say
second.
something?
Yeah, in 1 second. Hold on. I'm not spurging, sir. I'm
Not
trying.
to actually hear you guys.
Are you going to stop
What did
talking?
he say?
Or are you going to interrupt me and call him Spurg,
Stop
or
spurging.
would you like to have a serious conversation? Because if you don't want to have a serious conversation, my phone lines are full, sir. I have
Go
more
ahead,
listeners.
Brian. I apologize.
Okay, thank you. 4 months ago, the Strait of Hormuz was open. They weren't tolling people. You could say, well, they wanted to. Now they are tolling people as the Strait of Hormuz opens up. It is in a worse position for the United States now than it was 4 months ago. They are helping to facilitate $300 billion, upwards of $150 billion to reconstruct the country, okay, in Iran. We are also talking about changes of U.S. military deployments, releasing frozen assets, sanctions relief, things that they obviously don't deserve, just so they maybe say, we're not going to further our nuclear capabilities, with no evidence that they were even doing that to begin with. And you think that's a good deal for America, sir?
Well, what I'm here, the biggest unresolved issues with the deal, the uranium enrichment limits, what happens to Iran stockpile?
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Trump said he doesn't care
Hold
about
on,
that.
hold on. Let's talk about the uranium
Leonard
enrichment.
thinks isn't real, but
Hold
it
on,
is.
hold on. Let's talk about the uranium enrichment. I think that's very fair that you bring that up. Okay. Donald Trump said this today about uranium enrichment. Are you ready for this? And then I'll let Leonard take over the conversation here.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. This is what Donald Trump said, because you brought it up. You could make the case, why even bother? It's not very valuable stuff. That's what Donald Trump said about the uranium, sir. So don't bring up uranium with me when the commander in chief, and I would imagine the guy that you voted for, is saying it's not valuable. Let's not even talk about it.
Okay, Tyler,
Okay, it's
this is
because
Leonard,
it's
the
under a
Minister of
mountain.
Defense
So
of
this is the
Iran.
thing, real quick. The reason why it's such a non-big deal is because it's under a mountain. They don't have the capability to excavate it.
We don't know that. And let me tell you something, Tyler.
I
This
do know
deal
that.
has already been instituted, and I'll tell you why. Iranian tankers already went through the blockade this morning. The Iranian Minister of Defense went on TV and he said that they don't worry about atomic bombs. They'll give that up. They'll give up their ambitions to enrich uranium. He said, but you know what? Our country we're worried about the money. We're going to get all of our money back from all of the sanctions, and then Trump is going to negotiate $300 billion from mostly European countries and maybe some Middle East countries to rebuild they're going to be one of the richest companies. They can sell oil all over the world right now, and they're already doing it.
Yeah.
That's your proof. That's your fact. That's your evidence.
I have a question for Tyler.
You know what I mean? That's not
Tyler,
hypothetical.
I have a question for Tyler. Tyler, what did you think about the $1.7 billion that Obama sent over there to Iran? What did you think about that?
I'm sorry, Brian. I heard 1.7 billion, but I didn't hear the rest.
What did you think about the $1.7 billion that Obama sent to Iran when he was president? What did you think about that?
That Obama gave them?
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yep.
All right. I just want to make sure that's what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a travesty because it fueled terrorist attacks. I'm not saying that was his intention.
No proof
I
of
think that in good faith, I'll give Obama a little credit. He was trying to make peace, but I think they took that money and they just sponsored terror wherever they could.
Was that paid? Because I'm trying to remember, because I'm actually forgetting. Was that, sir? Well, hold on. Was that paid by the taxpayers? I don't even remember. Where did that money come from?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you know where the money came from?
I used to know. I'm not. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so please tell me.
Okay. Well, it didn't come from taxpayer money. Do you know where originally that settlement was from? Do you know how many years ago?
Where?
So you don't know. So you don't know how it was paid.
But you're mad about it.
I don't remember. That's why I'm asking
Okay,
you.
well, how could you have an opinion about it if you don't know where it came from and why he did it? That's the whole reason why I'm bringing this up.
You know, Brian, I have a lot on my mind. You know,
Okay, well, guess what? I have a lot on my mind too. You know what? I have a lot. Pot him down. I have a lot on my mind too when I talk to some of you idiots who call into this show every day. It was a settlement returning Iran's frozen pre-1979 arms funds, you buffoon, and it had nothing to do with the taxpayer money. Yet you want to complain about it. I don't know, because
he's mad about it.
You're mad about it because he's Barack Obama when you have no idea what the hell you're talking about it. Yet they're helping to facilitate $300 billion and you're defending it. Do you realize what a clown you sound like? Did you hear me there, sir? Do you realize what a clown you sound like?
Can I bring up one thing?
I'm not a clown. And
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're a clown. I would rather have a I would rather have a conversation with a clown at Circus. All due respect to clowns at Circus. They're far more intelligent than you juggling balls right now. The only balls you're juggling are Donald Trump's, you imbecile. You're an imbecile. You don't know where the money came from. I got you on the Barack Obama money. You're so angry. A black man, $1.7 billion. You're so angry when it wasn't even taxpayer money.
Black man.
Yet you're totally okay with $300 billion that is going to be facilitated in case they say they might have been furthering their nuclear capabilities, which Tulsi Gabbard said under oath, they're not furthering their nuclear capabilities. No evidence they were furthering their nuclear capabilities. And we are the ones that are getting screwed. Yet you call into the show and you're so upset over the $1.7 billion. Why don't you get yourself educated on what is in this deal and how bad it is for the United States of America, and then call us back? Sir, can you do that? Is it possible?
How about you stop?
Get off my show.
Can I add something?
Because hold on, I just want to say one more thing, and then you take the floor, okay? You are what's wrong with this country. I bring up Barack Obama and $1.7 billion, and you're so upset. You don't know where the money came from. You don't know why it was sent over there. You don't know the origins of it, but you're so angry. But yet when I bring up $300 billion and over $150 billion to reconstruct that country, and they don't have any sanctions at all other than, well, you know, they can't further their nuclear capabilities when there's no evidence that they were to begin with. You disgust me. You people are so stupid. You disgust me. You're disgusting.
I just wanted to clarify one thing, because he said that the money that we gave to Iran funded the proxies. They use it to fund. That's not accurate. And what I was going to ask him, but I didn't get a chance, was, do you know who financed Hamas? Because,
he doesn't know.
Because you can look that up on the internet. This is not Leonard's conspiracy theory.
Yep.
It was Netanyahu in 2006 and 2007. It was suitcases of cash that was placed into vehicles and sent over to Hamas because he wanted Hamas to take over power of the Palestinians. Because he had more control over Hamas because of the money than he did over the Palestinian state.
Also
and that's
true.
what happened. And I wanted to see if he knew that, because he was so effing mad about it.
Well, Leonard,
can I say effing?
Leonard, let me just say this. He didn't even know why or where the money came from with the $1.7 billion
mad about
with Obama. So I'm going to go on a limb here. If you're a gambler and say maybe minus 20,000, which would mean you have to wager $20,000 to win 100. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say you probably didn't know that either, Leonard.
Too many Pringles.
Yeah.
Maybe. He seemed like a Pringle guy to me.
Who are we going to next year? 702-221-7283. Let's go to Russ, who's calling out of Colorado. What's up, Russ? Hi, Russ. Go right ahead. Russell.
Russ, what's on your mind?
Russell, are you there? Earth to Russell.
This is the Pushing the Limits radio show.
Can you hear me talking, Russell? Okay. Russell's on the line, but he can't hear me, so we'll have to go to another caller. Let's go to Terrell, who's calling out of New York. Hey, Terrell, what's going on, man?
Yo, it's Terrell, man.
What's up, Terrell? Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
What's up,
You're a little hard, but I can hear you. It's Terrell from Brooklyn, Brian.
Good to hear from you, Terrell. What you got for me today?
Yeah, from Brooklyn. Let's go, Knicks. Yeah, let's go, baby. We got that. Knicks, we got that championship, but let's go. I got to ask you one question, bro.
Okay.
All right. I want to know, like, yo, you got all these followers, right? You get millions of views. You get all that stuff, right? I just want to know, with all that bread that you get, why don't you get better audio equipment? Because your mic is trash, bro.
I can't. I can hear.
There's nothing we can do.
Certainly
Terrell.
fine through my headphones. I don't know what the
when your equipment's
audio
working every
issues are.
day, and then you have a bad day, you have to fix it, and that happens at my house. It happens with my cell phone. It's nothing new. It's nothing to make a big. But do you have anything interesting about current politics to talk about? Did he hang up?
Did we lose Terrell?
Oh man,
that's too bad.
So he called up just to make a stupid comment like that?
I guess. I don't know. 702-221-7283. Let's move on to Larry. Larry is calling out of Las Vegas. What's up, Larry? Larry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you doing the show.
Thank you.
I'm calling in on Wednesdays with Leonard. I love the fact that he points out this dual reality for the Trump supporters. Of course, I made the mistake of voting for him back in the day, but keep up the good work in terms of getting the word out. I'm really pissed off that our country is totally being mismanaged, and I'd like your feedback on that.
Larry, how did you get your mind right? How did you get out of the fog and the non-reality of the Trump world and the lies and the con and the constant berating of other people? How did you snap out of that?
Anyways, I'm going to have to let you go, Brian. There's a little bit of an audio on my end, but I can't hear you too well. You keep up the good work.
So here's what we're going to do. Thank you, Larry. Apologize for that. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll take some more phone calls on the other side. The number to call 702-221-7283. 702-221-7283. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. All right, welcome back. It is is Pushing the Limits on a Wednesday. Leonard Cardinale co-hosting with me today. Good to be with all of you. Obviously, the big news that we're talking about today, as we take some more phone calls, is this 14-point memorandum with Iran, sanctions relief, the release of frozen assets, $300 billion in reconstruction commitments, changes to U.S. military deployments. So, yeah, it's a big win for Iran, and I think we all could agree. Unfortunately, it feels like a surrender for the United States of America, right? We're taking some phone calls at 702-2217.
The MAGA callers say they like it. They're like, but it didn't go into effect yet, and it's a good agreement. And what a ridiculous position to take.
Listen, I've heard ridiculous positions from MAGA. This might be one of the worst of them all. I mean, I hear ridiculous positions.
They didn't even know what to say, Brian.
Yeah, I hear ridiculous positions about the tariffs. I hear ridiculous positions about the ballroom. I hear ridiculous positions about the UFC fight in front of the White House.
Okay, Brian, why do you think they don't have nukes? You're like, well, the director of national intelligence stated under oath to Congress. Well, how do you know she won't lie?
It's insane. Lisa on the YouTube super chat says, this is a late comment because I had to pause for a meeting, but the Iran deal just makes the U.S. look like suckers and losers. Well, I agree with you, Lisa. I think you have the right to feel that way. And I completely agree with you. All right. What do you say, Leonard? We get back to the phone calls.
Let's go.
At 702-221-7283, which is the number to call. Numchuck, who do we got next? We got Nelson. Nelson's calling next on PTO. Hello, Nelson.
Hello, Brian. I want to talk about the UFC event that was on Sunday.
The circus? Everybody said it looked like a circus.
Yeah, I guess you could say it was kind of a circus. I mean, I disagree with how the president handled the situation. It just doesn't seem presidential to have a UFC event being hosted near the White House. That's really all I wanted to
What about
say.
$60 million?
Hold on a second. Nelson, what do you think about it? Nelson, what do you think about a UFC fighter saying that Michelle Obama is a man?
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Josh Hoke. I
don't care what his name is.
I disagree with that.
Well, of course you. I obviously you disagree. Why hasn't the administration called it out and condemned it?
I mean, I condemn it. I'll tell you that right now. I condemn it. I certainly don't agree with that. But yeah,
sorry, we're having some issues with the cameras today. We'll get that sorted out for you.
Nelson, what about them spending $60 million of our taxpayer money on a show that was on the White House lawn that looked ridiculous and made our country look ridiculous?
Hello?
Hello?
I don't think you can hear me.
I don't think the caller can hear either.
Damn,
Nelson,
I can't even hear that.
Nelson, can you hear me okay?
A little bit.
Okay.
Hardly.
All right. I don't know why the callers are having problems hearing me today, but they
That's
are.
better for me.
The callers are having issues. Foxboy72006 says, angry about $1 billion by Obama, but not $300 billion by Trump. I think a goldfish is smarter than MAGA hates. That's a really funny statement, and I agree. Do we have
need
that
to let
sorted
go
out?
of the Obama argument, Brian? It's a terrible argument.
Should I take some more phone calls? If they
Let's
can't hear
try.
me, then there's really no point in taking phone calls. Nelson, can you hear me? Are you still there?
Better now.
It's better now? Okay, something's better now. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you a bit better now.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I don't know what's going on.
I can hear you. I don't know what's going on either. I can hear you a little bit better now, so maybe we're good to go now. So Nelson, go ahead, continue the conversation. Why do you think the Trump?
Well, the fighter that you were talking about is called Josh Hoke. He was saying that Michelle Obama was not a man.
Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware of that. My question to you is, what are your thoughts on the Trump administration not calling it out, not condemning it?
Yeah, no, I think they should condemn it. I condemn it. I think they should.
But they haven't. I didn't ask you if they should.
Okay,
of course
fine.
they should.
I get that. I get that they haven't, but I'm agreeing with you is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so so what do you think about this agreement with Iran? Are you okay with that?
I'm not okay with starting a new war with Iran in the first place.
That already happened. That wasn't my question. What are your thoughts about the agreement where Donald Trump is desperately trying to end the war? And
we're way past that.
Yeah, we're exactly. What are your thoughts on that? That was my question.
Well, yeah, obviously, I think any good, rational, law-abiding person wants to end any war as soon as possible, if I'm being honest with you. So, yeah.
Even if that means giving them hundreds of billions of dollars, concessions, and they don't really give anything up other than their word that, we're not going to further our nuclear capabilities when we don't even know that they are to begin with.
I mean, I just want to see an end to the war. That's pretty much it.
Even if that means giving them $500 billion.
No, I'm not saying that. I wouldn't abide by that.
Okay, well, that's what they're
doing.
doing.
I just don't want to see any other innocent civilians killed or injured.
It's not that simple, is what Brian's trying to say, Nelson. It's not as simple as let's just end the war. We got our butts kicked, and we're going to have to pay billions, and Iran's going to come out a stronger country than ever. Let me ask you something. Can't they? And I'll ask Brian too. Can't they just shut the Strait of Hormuz down for the rest of their life anytime they want?
They could if
don't
they
have
wanted
total
to.
control over that?
They could if they wanted to. By the way, Nelson, nothing personal, but somebody just said, "Can you guys make the microphones so that we can't hear Nelson ever again?" That's actually a very funny statement.
Well, we have the engineer here now. Maybe he can do that.
Yeah. All right, Nelson. Thank you for the wonderful phone call and the amazing Nelson, everybody calling into the show.
Such a strong position.
Yeah, very strong position. All right, let's get back to the phone lines at 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the show, 702-221-7283. Trish is now calling in. Trish, what's going on? Hi, Trish. Trish, are you there?
Can you hear us?
Is this another caller that can't hear us? Trish? Do we have Trish on the line?
Trish, can you hear either of us?
Okay. Trish can't hear us. All right, we'll move on to another caller. Trish apparently couldn't hear us. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. 702-221-7283. Lucky Dragon is next up on PTL. Hello, Lucky Dragon.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
Can you hear me? Oh, this is Brian.
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to a real loyal listener. Her name is Linda Pay. She's
Did we just hang up on Lucky Dragon? I think we just hung up. Lucky Dragon, are you there?
Pay is,
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I can hear you.
Okay.
She's a really good listener, and she's needs to pay attention. So what I want to say is, honestly, if Michelle Obama is truly a woman, then why didn't Bud Light give her a sponsorship? And why didn't Kid Rock show up to the UFC fight with an AR-15?
Well, because
how come Bud Light was one of the main sponsors?
Thank you.
Thank you for the phone call, Lucky Dragon, because they're both idiots.
That was
That's
dumb.
why. Yeah, I mean, Kid Rock. Did you see Nick Shirley walking into the UFC fight with Kid Rock? Two absolute imbeciles. I was actually very, very much watching that and just seeing these two walk in to that UFC fight. Just two complete clowns. Obviously, we're talking about the 14-point plan agreement as well. 702-221-7283. Again, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-SAVE. I think we have Trish back on the line. Hello, Trish. Can Trish hear me?
Trish, are you there?
Okay, I guess Trish can't hear me, so we'll move on to the next call. Trish, are you there? Okay, let's move on to the next call. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff is calling in. Hey, Jeff, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today?
Hey.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Oh, no, this is Jeff.
Yep. What's up, Jeff?
Hi, Jeff. You're on.
Yeah, I think it's going to become obvious that this is a disaster for Trump, because it's even worse than the agreement Obama had with Iran. I know that it's a disaster because all the AM radio MAGAs, they're going on to other topics like, transgender and the voting, Save America voting nonsense. And I mean, nobody's for this agreement. No one, not even MAGA AM radios for it. Nobody's for it.
Yeah. Fox News was talking about the governor race in Georgia this morning instead of the signed agreement that Trump was announcing.
Except for maybe Mark Levin. By the way, I feel like Israel.
Everybody loves your Mark.
I feel like Israel could bomb every country in the world, and Mark Levin would somehow be behind it. Like Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin. It's absolutely insane.
We'll be taking calls right after this.
Yeah. Are you a liberal? Are you a liberal? Scum. 702-221-7283. Ray. Trump. Ray is. I don't know where Ray is calling in from, but he is a Trump supporter. Hello, Ray.
Hey, I'm from Ohio. You forgot that?
I don't know who you are, Ray. Sorry, no offense. I take probably hundreds of phone calls and speak to a lot of people every day. So I'm sorry, Ray. I don't remember you. But Ray, what do you think about this agreement?
Which one?
What? Which one? The
The
agreement
one that's been on every news station all
Ray,
morning.
is that a serious? If you're going to call in, you got to at least try to be serious, Ray. Obviously, we're talking about the Iran, United States 14-point plan agreement, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Are you aware that happened today, Ray?
I was. Yeah, I'm kind of caught up. The UFC thing was pretty cool over the weekend.
I'm glad you think that the UFC fight was cool, but let's talk about something that's a little bit more important, which is this agreement. Are you for it? Do you think America's getting a lot out of this? Do you think it's a good thing?
Well, I mean, gas will go down. I mean, stop
Gas.
fighting.
Okay, so you think we should pay a country that harbors terrorists and is run by terrorists that we should reward them and they should get $500 billion because gas, quote, might go down, and you think that's
Well, it hasn't gone down yet.
Yeah, it hasn't. But Ray, do you think that's the reasoning behind this? You think that's a good thing, Ray?
Well, things are gonna play out. They're not what they seem always.
Okay, well, explain to me why it's a good thing that we release foreign assets to Iran. Why should we do that?
Well, one is Trump is a master at playing chess.
Okay,
The whole world doesn't see.
Okay, so Ray, I don't care about your generic statements I know that you're a Trump mushroom gobbler, Ray, but that's not what I'm asking you right now. I'm talking about this plan. Can you please try to be intelligent for 10 seconds? I don't know if you can. What do you think about releasing Iran frozen assets? Do you think that's good? And what are we getting in return?
I think who cares?
Why are you laughing? Ray. Okay, let's try to be serious here for 20 seconds, even if you're not a serious person. Ray, how old are you, Ray? How old are you?
30.
He's 30, but his mom treats
Ray,
him like he's 17.
So, Ray, do you think innocent people coming home in caskets are brave men and women and soldiers and thousands of innocent people in Iran dying? You think that's funny, Ray?
Those are crisis actors.
Okay,
hey, you know what, Ray? Let me
get Ray off the phone.
Yeah, and let me just point out, because he brought up gas.
Yeah.
Okay, so all kinds of crude oil are up today. So how is that bringing down the price of gas if crude oil is up in every market in the world? That makes no sense.
Yeah,
Brian.
well, it doesn't even. It's not even worth
Crude oil's
trying to.
up.
It's not even worth to dissect this man's phone call when at the end of the call, Leonard, he just said that the people that are losing their lives are crisis actors. That's what he said at the end of the call. So that's some Alex Jones stuff that I'm not going to tolerate on this show. And one thing I will never do is tolerate jokes of people that are losing their life. And that's exactly what that caller did.
That wasn't
it will
funny,
not be
Ray.
tolerated on this show, and it will never be tolerated on this show.
And you don't have to call back.
And as far as I'm concerned, Ray, you can go to hell, okay? Because I'm not going to tolerate that on this show. Labadia. Jebediah, I apologize. I'm pronouncing the name wrong.
Yeah.
Jebediah.
How you doing?
How you doing, Jebediah? What's on your mind
I'm
today?
doing well.
What's up?
Plain and simple. I just wanted to give you guys mad props, honestly, for being some of the guys that actually got to sit there and say, "Hey, fuck you" to this.
Whoa! Watch the language. Watch the language.
Yeah, we're on the radio.
Yeah.
We can't curse.
Yep.
Yeah,
Two things
sorry.
I asked. Don't swear in the
Screw these,
air. Try to be on topic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Screw this guy that, is pretty much the epitome of modern day Hitler. My biggest question is, what do you do? How do you talk to somebody that is so freaking pro MAGA that you cannot change their mind?
You talk to him anyway.
You just talk to them anyway?
Well,
you argue with him anyway.
Well, my response is a little bit different than that. When they say the election was stolen, or somebody calls in and says that these are crisis actors, or, I don't take anybody like that seriously, and I don't talk to them because it's meaningless. Obviously, if I'm doing some man on the street stuff and I'm talking to some Trump supporters, I enjoy exposing how stupid some of these people are. But you're certainly never going to get through to them. You can't take them seriously. They're very stupid people.
Yeah. I live in Kansas, and I'm like right in the heartland of, some of this MAGA stuff.
Oh,
and,
boy.
Yeah. I was born in Colorado, raised in California, and I know every which side of, I grew up kind of on the Republican side, but,
Sure.
My dad, he was pretty Republican, but my mom was pretty, Democratic, and honestly, I've kind of grown a little bit of heart, growing up. I'm, up in my 40s now, and
yeah,
it's just.
Well, God bless you, sir, for being on the right side. That's what I will say.
Well,
God bless you for being
yeah.
on the right side and having some empathy for people and having some sane intelligence, because quite frankly, in the United States of America today, you're going to see a lot of coverage of this 14-point plan agreement where people are just really brainwashed and stupid. And I'm very glad that most of my listeners are like you and they're intelligent, informed people.
Yeah, he was really
like Leonard.
particularly
So
stupid.
I appreciate your call, sir. I appreciate it. You got to get to some other callers, my friend. I appreciate you. Let's get through these. Let's go to Tim. Tim is calling from Kentucky. Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to point out 3 lies y'all told today, if I could.
Let's try to go through one at a time, because let's not do 3 at a time. So what did I say that was a lie, sir? Go ahead.
Okay, the price of crude oil, what is it today?
I didn't give the price of oil, so I don't know why. I didn't say what the price of oil was, so how could I have lied? So now let me ask you again. Let me ask you again.
We said it's up.
Hold on.
Said it went up.
Okay. So
you
I
said you
didn't
were
give the.
talking already.
Hold on. Calm down. You just asked me the price of oil. I never said it went up. What I did say is since Donald Trump's been in office, it has gone up. I didn't say the last couple days when it was going. Okay. Leonard might have said that. You're talking to Brian now. This is my show. So I'm going to ask you again. Okay. What did I say today? When I say what did I say, this is Brian Shapiro you're talking to. I didn't lie about the price of gas. You're 0 for 1.
Well, Leonard,
go ahead.
Leonard did.
Okay, so let's go with Brian now. Brian Shapiro's the host of the show.
Look it up.
Okay, sir, what did I lie
look
about?
It up, see what it is.
Okay, so I'm asking you now for a 5th time. What did I lie about?
The $60 million that U.S. taxpayers paid the UFC event.
I never talked about the UFC. Okay, again, I'm going to repeat this one more time, and otherwise this conversation is over. My name is Brian Shapiro. I'm the host of the show. You said you guys, will you shut up and let me finish? Don't interrupt me again. Okay. Okay, liar.
I'm sorry.
I don't care about your apologies. I don't appreciate it when people call in and they make claims and unsubstantiated about me. I'm now going to ask you. I said stop interrupting me, you dope. Stop interrupting me. I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm not talking about the UFC fight today. I'm not talking about gas prices. We're talking about the war in Iran. Name me something specifically that I said on the show today that was a blatant lie. You only have one more opportunity. I don't need your apologies. Stop talking about Leonard. I'll get to Leonard in a moment. And by the way, for the most part, no, Leonard is not a liar either. Tell me what I lied about. Go.
The $300 billion the U.S. has given to Iran.
I never said, hey, dope, pod this idiot down. I never said on this show, quote, that the U.S. is giving them $300 billion. You imbecile. As I pod you back up, Mr. Imbecile Liar, you just lied. Never once on this show did I say, quote, the U.S. is giving them $300 billion. What I did say, you dumbass, what I did say, okay, is that they're helping to facilitate $300 billion to Iran. What is your issue? Do you have too much MAGA wax in your ears? I've now asked you 5 or 6 times. No, you don't get to talk. You lost that privilege, you dope. Pot him down. Pot him down, you dope. You just said I lied, and you're making things up, and you're the liar.
It wasn't even stuff you said.
Yeah. Is he still on? Okay. Let's, since I'm in such a good mood today, Leonard.
You are in a good mood. I think I'm the cranky one today.
Need to smoke something, not a cigarette. All right. So as I bring you back up, sir, you have one more opportunity. You're now 0 for 3 with me. Okay, sir? I never said they were giving Iran $300 billion. I said they were helping to facilitate it. So, sir, why don't you just be a man for once in your life, okay? And admit that you're wrong, that Brian didn't lie. If you do that, maybe I'll have a little step of respect for you. Can you admit that you were wrong? And can you admit that you were wrong and Brian didn't lie? Can you do that?
No, Brian
sir?
didn't lie. Leonard did.
Okay. You know what?
I didn't lie.
That? Okay. So now I'm going to let you guys hold on. Now I'm going to let you guys have the conversation because at least he was admitting that he was wrong. Am I right, sir? Fair? Okay. I appreciate that. We've gotten somewhere in this phone call.
Tim, the UFC cost $60 million. Look it up online. That's a fact. It costs probably more than $60 million. But the White House admitted to $60 million.
Who paid it?
The White House, us, me, and I don't know if you pay taxes. You might be a MAGA that avoids taxes. I don't know. But the people that paid taxes, that was U.S. tax money.
Well, I'll add something to this, sir. Unlike you,
The UFC paid
hold on,
that,
hold on,
not
hold on,
taxpayers.
hold on.
The
I
UFC
was there.
paid
Hold on.
$60 million.
Okay, hold on. Who paid for all the government, the security outside the venue, the barricades, the law enforcement, all the National Guard that was out there, the extra security, all the blocks that had to be shut down, all the businesses, all the businesses that didn't make money. I was there. I saw blocks and blocks and blocks of National Guard, ICE, you name it. So tell me, sir, who pays for those people?
Yeah, that was $12 million, not.
I asked you a question. I didn't ask you how much. Who pays for those people?
U.S. taxpayers pay
Thank
for that.
you.
But that's
So,
$60 million.
are you still okay with that? I'm just asking you now. You still okay with that?
Yeah, I mean that's a budgetary expense for everything that goes on in Washington.
I know. I didn't ask.
They pay those for the events and everything.
I understand, but I'm just asking you your opinion. Are you okay? Let's just say it was 12 million. Let's just say you're 150% correct on that, right? Are you okay with the president of the United States holding entertainment events in front of the White House that cost the American taxpayers tens of millions of dollars? Are you okay with that during a war?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I mean,
okay, cool.
I mean,
so where do you draw the line? Can Melania strip on a pole? Would you be okay with that in front of the White House? Like, what's your line?
No, I mean,
okay, you're not okay with that.
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, but you want half-naked men in tights twirling around in an octagon.
He's right. The UFC
You're totally
did pay
okay
the
with that.
$60 million.
Yeah, I knew that. So where do you draw the line? If Barack Obama had the NBA Finals in front of the White House, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I think that's fine. That'd be pretty
cool.
neat, actually.
So in front of the White House, any president can hold any entertainment or sporting event, anything, even if it costs taxpayer dollars, even if we're, the debt ceiling rising and rising, gas prices the way they are, the economy the way it is, people are living paycheck to paycheck, losing their health care, right? Private sector job growth is abysmal. But you're calling into the show saying you don't care what type of entertainment event the president of the United States holds in front of the White House, even if it costs the American taxpayer tens of millions of dollars. Am I getting that right, sir? I want to make sure I got your opinion right.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, with everything that goes on, if they want to put on any.
All right. Well, you think that's fine. So, but by the way, how did Doge do, sir? Since you don't seem to care very much about wasteful spending. That's what I'm getting from this phone call,
Yeah,
sir.
they've done awful.
They've done awful. Okay. So you care about wasteful spending, right? Is that a fair assessment of your opinion? You care. You don't want the government wasting money. Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah, I don't want them wasting money, but I don't see that as wasting money when they put on an event like that for the people. The soldiers were there. They got to go to it. It's something, for them to be able to do and have fun at, relax. I mean, I don't see there's nothing wrong with that.
They had to pay their own way.
Yeah, they did have to.
And it
pay
was a
their own
private
way.
event that the president made money off of
all right. Well,
because
sir,
he invested in the company.
Well,
So-
sir, I disagree. I think with that and I'll tell you,
that's fine. I mean,
and
we
I'll
can
tell you why.
Disagree. That don't mean we have to hate each other.
I didn't
I mean,
say.
we can disagree.
Did I say I hated you, sir? I didn't say that. I've kept you on the
No,
line.
I mean,
now.
I'm just saying.
I don't hate you, sir. I'm just giving you my opinions of why I disagree with you. When we're in the middle of a war that's costing
stuff
us.
like this when it's.
What's that?
Doesn't make.
I'm sorry.
What are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. When we're in the middle of
Okay,
a
I'm
war,
talking to you.
when we're in the middle of a war that's costing us $2 billion a day, right? I don't know if the war is going to end on Friday or not. When you
you got to look at it.
When you look at
when
inflation,
Bush and Obama was in.
When Bush and Obama was in, what does Obama have to do with this conversation?
I mean, when they was in a war, I mean, they didn't just stop everything that they was doing and didn't put on events and do stuff and go here and there. I mean, it's just.
When Barack Obama, okay, so
yeah, but it matters what you're doing.
When Barack Obama was in a war, okay, and I would assume you're talking about Afghanistan, which was 2 decades. When Obama was in a war, give me some of that wasteful government spending, like a UFC fight in front of DC. Can you give me one example?
I mean, I'm sure they still had events and stuff.
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you. I'm sure that's not an answer. I want you to be specific because you're making an accusation about Barack Obama when we were in Afghanistan. Can you please give me an example of wasteful spending that would be like holding a UFC event in front of the White House, tens of millions of taxpayer dollars going for security?
I mean, if you talk about wasteful spending, you can talk about the Easter egg roll. I mean, that happens every year.
okay.
That's wasteful spending.
That is not a comparison to this UFC fight, and it doesn't cost American taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. So I'm going to ask you again, can you give me anything equivalent in the Obama administration that would level off as to what Donald Trump did over the weekend? Can you give me one example?
I mean, I don't know if it's
You don't know. So
I don't
why?
know
Okay, so
specifics. I mean, that was
I
he's saying
understand.
I'm sure they did. That's
If
all
you,
he's saying.
if
But I'm
you,
sure there was
okay, hold on.
there
If
was
you-
wasteful.
hold
I'm
on,
sure there
hold
was
on.
wasteful spending
If
that
you
went on
don't
during every
know,
administration.
sir, with respect, if you don't know any specifics, it doesn't sound like you can name one event. Then why would you make that accusation about Barack Obama? Please tell me.
Because it happens that I made it about Obama and Bush. It happens.
I asked you about
every
Barack Obama,
administration.
who was president for 8 years. Okay. Can you give me one example? I'm going to ask you one more time of one example of wasteful spending, like holding a UFC event in front of the White House and tens of millions of dollars of our taxpayer dollars going towards security. I'm not giving you 4 years. I'm giving you 8 years. Can you give me one example? Go.
I mean, I can't not right off the top of my head.
All right,
I mean,
then don't make an accusation and don't call into the show then. What do you want me to tell you, sir? Okay. Sir, I don't hate you. I don't hate you, sir. I'm sure you're a nice man, but you sound very ill-informed.
And timing has a lot to do with it, Brian. He's on the cusp of negotiating a deal on the war. Lebanon and Israel are still bombing each other. It was in bad taste, and it was below the office of the president, in my opinion. I'll say.
Leonard, I agree with you 100%. Shelley says, would he be okay with a transporting event? Something tells me probably not. No, I agree. I think it was a spectacle, and I think it was a joke.
Did Obama ever have a transporting event?
Did Obama?
Did Bush?
No.
Did that's how ridiculous the question is.
It's just a stupid question. I agree. Let's go to
ridiculous.
Jason. Jason calling out of Missouri. What's up, Jason?
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to say I really like your show. I watched the whole conference today, and Trump is failing. He's not only failing the country, he's failing the American people. My question for you is, what difference is there between the JCPOA outside of the fact that we've got $3 billion versus what President Obama was going to give to them, which it wasn't giving to them specifically? So I want to know what your opinion is about how are the Republicans going to sell this differently to the American people? Because so far, Vance has not been able to sell this. Every show that
JCPOA was
he's gone
working.
on, he's failed, in my opinion.
Go ahead, Leonard.
So the JCPOA was working. It accomplished everything that it took 2 years to negotiate. John Kerry negotiated it, and it was working. We were allowed to have inspections. We were allowed to go to every facility. They allowed International Atomic Agency to come in and inspect anytime they wanted. And if you can look it up on the internet for the people who don't believe me, it was somewhere between 3.5, some say as high as 3.7% uranium enriched. Okay, now it's at 60 because Trump canceled the deal and they were allowed to enrich the uranium. And when he's asking about the Republicans, Brian, I think the Republicans are gonna stick their head in the sand and hide from this. I think we're never going to get a good deal.
I agree, and I would also go, you're talking about the $1.7 billion Obama, and as I've said, that was returning Iran's frozen pre-1979 arms fund plus interest. That wasn't taxpayer money. So there are going to be a lot of people who say, well, this isn't a dollar. America isn't brokering a dollar of this $300 billion. But I can tell you right now, they're the ones that are facilitating it. They're facilitating $300+ billion to a terrorist regime. And that's the best way I can answer that question, my friend. And I agree with what Leonard said as well.
There's some conspiracy theory on that too. They're going to look for and make sure that Donald Trump and America is not funneling money to these companies who are going to pay that $300 billion in order to, so the money is not going to come from America.
Agree. Let's go to Trish. Hello, Trish. Are you there?
We got Trish back.
Hi, Trish.
Hello. Wait a minute.
Hello, Trish. Go right ahead.
I can hear her now.
Trish, are you there?
Hello. Can you hear me this time?
Yes. Go right ahead.
Well, I can barely hear you. Okay.
You're on, Trish.
All right, we're gonna have to go to another caller. Let's go to Andrew.
It's gotta be her phone.
Andrew is next up on PTL. Hey, Andrew, what's going on? Andrew, are you there? Andrew,
can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Ryan, I wanted your opinion. I heard a couple people talking about the wasteful spending about the UFC event.
Okay.
And I wanted to know how much was that? How much did they spend on that event?
Are you talking about the UFC or are you talking about the U.S. taxpayer dollar?
On the whole event with everything. How much was it all together?
I think
so
MS Now said around 100 million for the security and stuff, but I'll check. I think that's what it was.
So we're talking about at a minimum tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars that had to go for the National Guard, with law enforcement, with people that were paid overtime, government jobs that had to be there. I was there myself, and I saw that there was a ton of security. There were blocks and blocks of roads that were cut off to vehicles. There are a lot of local businesses, that were affected by it as well. And while I'm sure it helps tourism and a lot of people flew in for the event, I can tell you as a whole, it was not good for us. It was not good for DC. It was not good for the economy.
Would you know the percentage of how much the UFC paid for the event itself?
I'm not interested in how much money the UFC paid for it. And I'm not even talking about the actual fight itself. Now, it's estimated that the budget was somewhere around 60. It's estimated that the budget was somewhere around $60 million. That's the price tag that was put up for site restoration and a lot of other things. But I'm not interested in how much money the UFC put up. I'm interested in how much money this costed taxpayer dollars and how bad it looks in the middle of a war in Iran that the president is enjoying a UFC fight sitting next to a wife beater. That's my issue is. Does that make sense, sir?
I can see why that would make sense, but about the soldiers and stuff that were there that enjoyed it and everything.
Just because soldiers are enjoying an event is not an excuse for spending tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer dollars during a war. I'm sure if you asked all of those soldiers that I'm sure had a good time and enjoyed a UFC event, they would probably say they would like their brave men and women who came home in caskets to be alive and this ill-advised war in Iran never to happen. That's a little bit more important to me than a few soldiers that had fun watching a couple men in tights twirl in an octagon. That's what I would say to that.
Well, when you say men in tights, these are actual fighters. They're not men in tights.
Okay, well, they are actually. Did you have a problem with
WWE?
Okay, so first of all, they're half-naked men that were twirling in an octagon, and if that's your thing and that's what you enjoy, that's totally
They're
fine.
in a tight onesie.
Okay. Did you have a problem with Joe Biden bringing in transgenders, honoring transgenders in front of the White House? By the way, that didn't cost the taxpayers.
I was just about to ask Joe Biden.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I was going to ask, what did you think about Joe Biden's wasteful spending?
Okay, well, give me a specific example, please, sir, and then we can discuss it.
Can I give you some without you muting me? Is that okay?
If you can give me one example and then we can talk about it, that'd be great.
Sure. I'll give you this. How about this? The largest COVID era relief packages. That's one.
The relief, hold on. The relief packages. First of all, that's not wasteful, and second of all, the relief. Hold on. The relief package The relief package checks were signed by a guy by the name of Donald J. Trump. Are you aware of that?
Okay. I'll give you another one.
Okay. Well.
Okay. Let's try another one.
Maybe give me one that makes a little. Maybe give me one that makes a little bit more sense.
What about the climate bill? What about the green new energy?
By the way, the green new bill that AOC proposed was not. If you could just let me finish my sentence without interrupting me, that would be great. Yeah, that'd be very nice, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me finish on my own show. That's very nice of you. The Green New Deal AOC bill did not pass, so you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
And how is that wasteful spending?
And by the way, it's not wasteful spending when we talk about during a global pandemic when we were losing 3,000 to 5,000 people a day, helping people and giving people relief. You dumb imbecile.
So Brian, in his mind, that was an equivalent, like the UFC on the lawn of the White House was equivalent to that. What about that Green New Deal? In his
forget about saving lives and helping the environment. Let's compare that though to a UFC fight on the White House. Sir, you are not a serious person, but you are also known as the ill-informed and uneducated base of Donald J. Trump. Have a nice day,
Suffering
sir.
from TDS.
Yes.
Not TDS. What is
TFS.
it?
Well, TDS too.
TFS. They're the ones who have Trump derangement syndrome.
Trump fellatio syndrome. I enjoy.
They're the ones who are in non-reality.
I don't disagree with that. Let's go to Mary. By the way, before I get to Mary, did I just hear this phone call right? He has no problem with the UFC fight. Doesn't think that's wasteful spending. But has a problem with COVID relief?
Yeah, that makes no sense. What about the COVID relief that saved probably hundreds of thousands of lives and stopped the pandemic? What about that? How wasteful was that?
Oh my God. Electric Dad says it's funny to hear these losers talk about how good the UFC fight was great. But when Obama put in a basketball hoop for him to use, they went crazy. He's so right. Electric Dad, you are so right on that. It's so insane. Can you imagine if Barack Obama, I said this to Jordan Klepper when he was interviewing, I said, can you imagine if Obama had a regular season NBA game and paid all this money, tens of millions of dollars to put a court in there and play an NBA game, they would have been going crazy.
What if Obama invested in the company who was promoting it and actually made money off of it?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
A private event.
Yeah. Let's go to Mary. I believe Mary is calling in next. Hey,
Hello?
Mary. Yeah. Hi, Mary. What's up?
Hi. You're a little hard to hear, but my thoughts are that I think like the deal isn't like for real so much. It's really just to play the market on oil futures and stuff, and for insider trading purposes. Because I feel like that's all Trump's been doing all along. With everything's on a Friday where you're gonna make money, and then whoops, oh no, you're not. And I think even if they agree on it and sign it, then they'll go do a little bomb thing afterwards just to like mess with the market. And when they do, if he does end up giving that money to Iran, he's probably going to hold it and launder the interest or something.
I think you're onto something there. I think there's always a plan with Donald Trump. And while he wants this war to end, not because he cares about the American people, but it's bad for him. It's bad.
It's 4th of July,
Yeah, exactly.
Or his birthday or some crap like
that.
that.
I agree. This is just about him. And apparently he doesn't care how much money Iran gets, the sanctions, which they're giving up virtually nothing. It's absolutely insane.
You know what?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Can I ask Mary a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mary, this is Leonard. Let me ask you a question. There's some speculation that one of the reasons Donald Trump is in such a hurry is because a lot of the European nations are running out of oil reserves. And in fact, you can look it up on the internet. We're also running low on oil reserves. You believe that was some of the motivation for this?
Well, they may do that, and then they may see some tankers when they feel like they have enough just to like mess with the markets, because people make so much money doing that.
Yeah.
When there's not a lot of other ways to make money, because right now it's mostly like the military industrial complex that is raking it in. So,
Well, I appreciate your perspective, and to quite frankly, I think you're onto something here. I think Donald Trump always seems to benefit financially with all this corruption, and I think this war is certainly another example, my dear. And I really do appreciate your call. Sorry for some of the technical issues we have. We'll try to figure that out for tomorrow. I know some people that were calling in had trouble hearing, and we're having some camera issues and some audio issues and some everything issues. So we'll try to get that.
I'm now hidden.
You're now hidden, right? Exactly. It's George Soros. That's what it is. It's the deep state. Tomorrow on the show, very popular liberal commentator, Tony Michaels, is going to be joining us on the program tomorrow. And I didn't get a chance to get to some of the man on the street stuff, Leonard, that I wanted to get to today because of the breaking news.
That's too bad. That would have been fun.
But here's some good news. We have some of these videos that have gone viral, like 500,000 videos, a father and son duo that I posted yesterday. My editors did, I shouldn't say.
How about the lady that just walked away?
Yeah, she just walked
gave
off.
up.
Yeah.
She couldn't take it.
I've got some good news for you. We got more on the pike, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot more stuff that we're going to be posting this afternoon. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that and monitor the YouTube page, which is at PTL Radio Show. Also, my Facebook fan page, which is Pushing the Limits, where we post very similar content on there as well. Some big announcements on the horizon as well. My new Substack page, which is Pushing the Limits, and then at the end, the number 1. So Pushing the Limits 1. Where you can see all my content outside of this show, all the other shows that I do, whether it be the Tim Pool Show, whether it be...
You have been getting around lately. My goodness.
I have.
You are making the rounds.
I thought you were talking about Melania Trump when you made that statement, but I heard she gets around as well. But
Great
anyway,
movie, by the way.
The only difference is I wouldn't make that statement at a UFC fight honoring America. It's a podcast, right?
Great
It's
movie.
a joke.
Totally worth the $80 million they spent on it.
Yeah, but Jimmy Kimmel, let's just throw him off the air. Let's get him off the air for making a joke. But if somebody at a UFC fight where you're supposed to be honoring America and showing respect in front of the White House makes a joke, a horrible joke about Michelle Obama, I guess that's totally okay. And the Trump administration will not denounce it.
I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah, he probably did. I think he hates the fact that the Obamas showed decency, that the Obamas intelligence, respect, decency, the opposite of the entire Trump family. They are the opposite of decency. They are the opposite of intelligence. They are the opposite of respect. And I think that's what really gets Donald Trump more than anything. And the reason why he puts his name on everything now and he wants everybody to honor him now is because they know that when he's gone, nobody will ever honor him for anything. That's really what
I believe that there's no way that the Trump deal is going to come close, even close in any small regard to the JCPOA. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Somebody said they saw the father and son video and it was funny. It was. And you can go check that out on my YouTube page at PTL Radio Show. Hey, we got more videos just like that. Plenty more that are going to be coming down the pike today. So monitor my YouTube page. You'll watch it. Leonard, it is always a pleasure to have you here. Sorry about the technical
I know they can't see
difficulties.
me, so I'm just like a hidden voice.
You're being censored today.
I'm like the Ed McMahon.
Thank you for being here, Leonard. And thank you for filling in for me on Friday. You did a great job. So I appreciate it. We'll see
It was
everybody.
fun.
Thank you for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling?